What is wrong with you, Mom?
Why? What is happening?
Don't act a fool. I talked to Shirley and she told me that you tried stopping her from proceeding with my case.
Yes, I did.
Why?
Because it is not what you want right now.
Stop thinking for me. I hired her because it is what I want. And if you're okay with how Dad treated you, I am not. And let me do something about it. Step aside and let me do what I want.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
What is wrong with you?
Listen, Ella, you cannot continue with that case.
Why?
Because Kasozi is not your real father.
What?
You're not his daughter.
I don't understand. What are you telling me, Mom?
I'm sorry. I should have told you this sooner.
Please explain yourself because I don't understand.
It's a long story.
Surely you're going to tell it all, right? Because I don't think you think I will. Just tell me.
When we got married with Mr. Kasozi, we looked for a child in vain. The first year, second, third, we tried everything. It went to 6 years and I realized he was getting frustrated. I had a checkup and realized the problem could have been with him because I was okay. So I made a very stupid mistake and had an affair. I met one of his co-workers and one thing led to another. I got pregnant. I told him that it was his. He was happy.
You lied to him?
He was losing the love he had for me. There was nowhere else to go for me and I was desperate to keep my husband and my marriage. So I told him the baby was his until an accident that brought so many questions.
What accident?
It's not related to this, but when I got an accident, the father to the baby showed up and confronted him. And he began to suspect and doubt. That is where things started to fall apart. He forced me to do a DNA test on you and he found out the truth. But even after finding out, he decided to take care of you because he loved you so much and the thought of losing you was unimaginable to him. But at the same time, our marriage was never the same again. That is when he started sleeping out, taking vacations alone, unknown trips, and well, what came out of that was Chloe.
Does Chloe know this much?
She does. I think he told her everything.
I see. The only person that didn't know was me.
I am sorry.
And you left me to look like a fool all these years. Even go to court to challenge a will that I clearly have no right over.
I am sorry. I have always wanted to tell you, but I couldn't gather myself to.
Who is my father? Where is he?
I don't know. Well, we fell out of touch.
Perfect. I want to be alone now. Please go away.
Good morning, Mr. Morris.
Good morning, Miss Chloe.
Thank you for sparing the time.
Of course. Why wouldn't I make time for my new best friend?
Okay. I didn't even realize we were friends.
So, when you called, I presumed we have an understanding.
I want us to reach to one, yeah?
I am listening.
I have been informed that you're in possession of nude photographs of myself.
Oh yeah. What an incredible body. If I was in your age, I wouldn't mind asking for a chance, even paying for one to do the nasty with you.
That is not only disgusting, but very disrespectful of you, Mr. Morris. But I'm not surprised because, well, it's you. Where did you get those photographs?
That is a closely guarded secret.
Could you please delete them?
No, thank you.
Don't you feel any sort of shame that a grown man like you would be in possession of nude photos of a young girl fit to be your daughter? Later on, threaten and even pay for them to be publicized.
Let's get to why you called me here. I am guessing it's not to discuss your nude photos.
Okay, Mr. Morris, I had respect for you when we met. Well, I don't now.
Good to know.
I wanted us to discuss Element Studios, your company as of yesterday.
What do you mean?
I know that Element Studios was started by my father together with you many years back, and each of you owned 50% shares because it was a joint partnership business. Then 2 years into the business, you both sold 5% of your shares to a new partner, Remy Kagwa, who now owns 10%, leaving you with 45%. After 4 years of good business, greed and jealous got to the best of you. And you wanted more, so my father didn't want any of it. And the two of you fell out.
Not that I don't enjoy a good and boring piece of history, but where are you going with this?
After your fallout with my dad, he was forced to sell out his shares, but since you didn't have the money to buy the shares, you were forced to look for a new partner, Sophia Kemi, who bought the shares, and now she owned 45% of the company. My dad started White Rose Media.
Sophia Kemi? How do you know all this?
It's a closely guarded secret.
I see. So, would you like to sum up? Unlike you who sits in her father's office all day, doing nothing, I have things to do.
The person that owns 45% shares in your company is closer to me than you may think.
Sophia? What are you doing here?
Mr. Morris, Sophia is my mother.
What?
My father never trusted you, and afraid to let his work go down the drain, he pretended to sell his shares only to sell them to himself through a different name. And what best than to use his mistress' name? That way, you would never suspect a thing because you knew his wife, but not Sophia.
Sophia, you knew this all along?
Let's not focus on the past. Like you said, you have things to do. So, I want to finish up here and let you get back to work. So, like I was saying, Sophia Kemi transferred her shares to me, and Remy Kagwa sold hers to me, which means I own 55% in Element Studios, which means I own majority shares of Element Studios.
This can't be true.
Maurice, I wanted to make it clear to you, sir. I own you. When I say run, you ask how far. When I say jump, you say how high. Do I make myself clear?
This is not over.
Do I make myself clear, Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Okay, we're done here. You may go back to work, and hey, I would delete those photographs if I were you. Because now with these new developments, the consequences of having my nude photographs may be far reaching than you would hoped earlier. You know what I mean? Hey.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
it's not your fault.
Yeah, it's not, but I can imagine what you're going through.
It's a sick feeling.
I know.
I feel deceived and embarrassed. All these years, I have been living a lie. My life now means nothing because the man I called my dad all along is not.
Not biologically, but he has been a dad to you in all other ways.
You don't get it. A lot of things don't make sense now. I have always admired him and I streamlined my dreams, my future to be like him.
Listen, Ella, that you can't change now. You can choose to focus on the bad. I don't advise you to do that, but I want you to choose to focus on the good.
What good?
See how your life has turned out to be because you chose to pick inspiration from him. I would focus on that.
I guess you're right. I'm sorry for what I did, Chloe.
It's not your fault because you didn't know that. But there is something I want from you.
What?
Consider coming to work with me. It will mean a lot to me.
Seriously? You want me to work with you?
Yes, you're my sister, and it will give me great joy.
You're a nice person.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Awesome.
There is something I also want you to do for me.
Anything.
I want to find my real dad.
Okay, I'll help.